Welcome to the WBC BoxCast. My name is Mauricio Sulaimán, and I'm so happy that you are watching this new episode. It's going to be dedicated to Don King.
The inimitable words of Muhammad Ali says you have to lose to be a whole champion. So there's no disgrace in losing. If you come back, you get knocked down, you get back up, you dust yourself off and get back into the game. That's what counts. The championship transfer. It ain't gonna be because it's bad. It's gonna be because it's good for Galactic. You have an opportunity to become bigger than ever. Show them what you can do in losing. We know what you can do in winning. We know what you can do in winning. Ain't no question about that.
A boxing promoter that is well known and that can walk any street of the world and be recognized and walk as a celebrity. Even now, where he is close of being 93 years old. Don King is a promoter who has challenged every obstacle, that enigma that exists about boxing, about himself, is completely less than the great success that he has had for the sport of boxing. Don King set the footprints on how to promote, how to be innovative, to put names to the fights, to go out and work harder than anyone, whether it's a club show or the Aztec Stadium with 136,000 people in attendance. I learned to know Don King since I was a little boy. He used to go to my house to meet with my father, José Sulaimán. He would bring Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, Chavez, Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, so many champions that were at my house sitting in the living room or having lunch when we came back from school. And he was always Don King with that laughter, with that unique way of being, with that hair that used to be very, very big. Now it's a little bit down, and Don is going through a year that he is still promoting fights. He has Noel Mikaelian, the WBC Cruiserweight champion, and Don King is Don King.
We cannot think of boxing without the king, Don King. We are here to celebrate the life and legacy of a king, a visionary promoter whose events have broken all imaginable records in our sport. A man who has overcome adversity, discrimination, and abuse of power with a relentless will to be the best. The Rumble in the Jungle, the Thriller in Manila, and so many extravagant promotions all over the world, always making each of them unique and spectacular. With unforgettable memories, Julio Cesar Chavez, Salvador Sanchez, Ricardo Lopez, Miguel Ángel González, and so many more Mexican warriors. Mike Tyson, the younger heavyweight champion in history and one of the greatest fighters of all time, side by side with Don King.
I remember one of these times he came to my house and he was very hungry, so he just went directly to the kitchen where my mother was cooking. He sat down right there in the kitchen, got some food and started eating, to the surprise of my father, who came to the kitchen and saw Don King already eating instead of the big banquet that they had prepared in the dining room. Don King is controversial, of course. Many people have labeled him as a bad person, as a criminal, as a crook, as many bad words that there are in the dictionary. But the reality is different. Don King is a good person, a good father. He was a great husband. And I saw how he really cared for the fighter firsthand. He made more than 100 fighters earn more than $1 million in one fight.
A promoter who paid more than 120 fighters $1 million or more for a fight.
He had Larry Holmes defend him when people told Holmes that Don King was robbing him, Larry said, when I was without Don King, I would make 10. With Don King, I make 100. I don't care what he gets. So that's the reality. Don King found and worked at making different ways of making money to make the pot bigger for everyone. And I am not defending Don King. I am praising Don King. I am making a tribute to Don King, who is 93 years old, and I really care and I love him for what he has done for the sport of boxing.
He made Muhammad Ali a world-renowned personality and became the most famous person in the planet. He set the standard for greatness in boxing promotions. 3, 4, 5, and even 6 world title fights on each card, which gave fans much more for their money. 136 fans at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City, and so many memorable fight promotions.
The Rumble in the Jungle, the Thrill in Manila, and all those names that were given to the specific cards. 3, 4, 5, even 6 world championship fights in one bout. Those were not boxing cards, they were a full event. The people, the movie stars, the athletes that came to the Don King fights are memorable. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stallone, all the people that always came out to see Don King events are memories that we'll have in our hearts, in our minds. And I remember Mike Tyson, Chavez, Julian Jackson, Terry Norris, Ricardo Lopez, Leija, Azuma Nelson, Gerald McClellan, so many fighters sharing the same ring at the MGM or Madison Square Garden or other countries. It was just something that I certainly miss today. Today, I go to an event, even though it might be a very good card, only the main event, the people come and it's full. I was there June 15, PBC put a great show, and all the fights, Benavides Vosdik and Antoine Russell against Puello, great fights. It was less than half of the stadium of the MGM Arena. When Gervonta Davis came against Martín, completely packed and a great atmosphere. Times have changed, but the memory of Don King will always remain as the greatest promoter in the history of boxing. Don, I salute you. I hope that you are well. Your passion, your dedication, your hard work will always be remembered by thousands of fighters, by your staff, by your detractors, by your friends, by fellow promoters. And I just wish you a very happy 2024. We will see you September 14 for the World Championship fight that you're putting together. And may God bless you. This BoxCast dedicated to Don King, a loyal friend who visited my father days before he passed away and stayed 5 hours with him, prayed, enjoyed, talked, and did not discuss one single thing about boxing. Thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next WBC BoxCast, the WBC Green and Gold podcast. Thank you.
We could be here all night trying to tell the story of the greatest promoter in the history of our sport. But in reality, we are here to honor an icon whose name is registered with golden letters in the history of humanity.